Okay, all. Hopefully, everything sounds good. Let me know. Starting off the stream right now. We're about 10 minutes away from the big reveal. As you can see, this is what will be presented during episode 2 of Night City Wire. Early in the morning, I just woke up a little bit ago. Hopefully, you guys are all doing good today. We got a lot to go over, and yeah, it's exciting. I'll let everybody get in here right now. If you don't already know what's going on, we have Night City Wire Episode 2, and yeah, we're going to be having a couple really cool things. I guess CD Projekt Red's going to be showing off. They hinted at some gameplay. Let me open a tab up. We're about 10 minutes away. We're going to have details on Life Pass. Of course, if you don't already know, there's 3 Life Pass in the game: Corpo, Nomad, and Street Kid. We're going to be seeing more details about that. Probably some more gameplay, I would assume, from the early hours of the game, because CDPR has been very cautious about spoilers, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any later mid-game gameplay. I think that's been a constant during a lot of the marketing. But yeah, let me know how everything sounds, and I'm doing good. Hopefully you guys are all doing good as well. I mentioned this in my last Cyberpunk 2077 video. I said Night City Wire is probably right around the corner, and I was literally right, so yeah, we're also going to see some more, I guess, gameplay of the different types of weapons. Probably see some of the smart technology again in action, some of the power and tech weapons. Really is going to be cool to see the variety that CDPR has made for this game. Yeah, hello guys, just everybody get in here. Yeah, and if you don't remember, this was what they were teasing earlier. Looks beautiful. I don't know if this is an in-game or another story trailer that we're going to see, but I'm excited. We got one more Night City Wire event after this, but as I've said before, Life Pass, weapons, and I guess some of the musical score. I guess we're going to see some of that. So, pretty cool, guys. And if you're not already caught up on what's been going on the last couple of weeks, I hopefully can recommend you to check out some of my recent Cyberpunk 2077 uploads. We've been discussing a lot, like the World of Cyberpunk 2077 book has provided a lot of in-depth details. And yeah, let's yeah, this was the first episode. If you don't recall, we got that trailer for the gig, and we got some devs insight, and then the main focus of this showcase though was on the brain dance feature.
Neat. Now try fast forwarding.
The cool little detective mode. It seems like it's going to be more comprehensive and complex than just what it appears like it is in this, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, and if you don't already know, 7 minutes away. 7 more minutes, and then we're going to be, well, watching the next episode of Night City Wire. And there's one more episode after this. I expect that the last episode's probably going to go more in depth, maybe a feature like cyberspace. I've been talking about that numerous times the last couple videos over the last month. I just anticipate that cyberspace is going to get a bit of a focus, at least, because I think a lot of people misunderstand or don't understand what it's going to be like in the game. So more clarity on that feature, I think, it's for good. Yeah, but and then this was something I didn't get to discuss this in my last live stream. If you guys remember, at the end of Night City Wire, a bunch of previews went live from different gaming outlets like Eurogamer, IGN, GameSpot, etc. I didn't realize that this had been uploaded by all these outlets, but yeah, we had 15 minutes of gameplay. I showed it off in one of my recent Cyberpunk 2077 videos, but it's just really cool to see Night City how it is now. And I actually don't have the link up right now, but what's even more interesting about this footage is that there's been an updated Chinese version, which you can actually see some differences. Like, you can clearly tell that this I guess you could say, demo of Cyberpunk 2077 is a little outdated. This specific footage right here compared to the more recent Chinese gameplay. There's just little additions that have been made to driving and some of the textures that have been upgraded. So this is a game that it's work in progress, and it's really cool seeing this game evolve over time and how much better it looks like in certain areas. But yeah, I'm excited. I really am to take in this full universe. Yeah, I'll read off the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Cyberpunk 2077. Again, we're about 5 minutes away from Night City Wire Episode 2. I'm just reviewing some of the stuff that's been shown recently. Yeah, and this was from the Street Kid Life Path. We have a shady fixer that we have to do a job for, and then we try stealing this car. We have some choices. That's the really cool thing about this game, is the amount of choices that we have, and that's something that CDPR has been emphasizing. That these quests have a lot of variety and we can tackle them in many different ways. Like specifically when we meet the Maelstrom gang from that E3, what is it, E3? Yeah, E3 2018 45-minute gameplay demo. Apparently there's like 12 different routes that we can take. So that's what really makes an RPG like this stand out. Yeah, and I know one of the characters right here, a lot of people have said that this guy looks like Gontro Dim from The Witcher 3, and he's definitely got that appearance.
Looks like I was right.
Yeah, look at that face.
You know, fuck all about me. Truth hurts, huh? Just watch your tone. I'm not a patient man.
Hey, come on, Stintz. Give us a break, huh? You lock us up, then just jerk off till trial. And then what? Worst case, we get some months. Hell, standing room only nowadays in El Bote. So...
Yeah, just a few more minutes away, guys. I'm just reviewing everything, making sure everything's up and running on my end. Well, thank you for the donation, whoever that was. I can't see it right now. Yeah, David Ewing, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, we're just looking at some of the other stuff that's been shown before. We're going to talk more about this after the show has actually started. We're about 3 minutes away. Hopefully Twitch doesn't give me any problems. Twitch has notoriously had some issues. I wish this was being run live on YouTube. I wish CDPR had their own channel up. Yeah, right now it's in lower res. It'll go up one sec. Okay. Yeah, let me know what you guys are, any expectations, any thoughts with this showcase. What are you hoping to see? I know a lot of people don't want to see any spoilers. I think that's one of the key missions that CDPR has right now overall. It's just not to show off too much, but also show off some aspects that people are questioning right now. Like, people want to know, how can you see yourself in the game? Especially being that this is an RPG, and I think that's something that CDPR probably should address, because I'm so exhausted by the first person versus third person criticism I've heard over the years. But it would be good if they, ensure to people that you're going to be able to see yourself throughout the experience. But yeah, Ryoko Tenchi, thank you for the donation. And yeah, that let me just quickly jump over here. Yeah, the Afterlife Club, I noticed that from the top of the logo. But again, from the Afterlife gameplay, it's likely that this is connected to the early parts of the game, but, I mean, look at it. It looks beautiful. I don't know if this is an in-game screenshot or an in-game scene, but you can see the tourist icon right here where you can fast travel throughout Night City.
Thanks for helping us stay up to date.
Thank you, Reginald. Thank you for the donation. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I haven't felt this hyped for an experience of this magnitude since Red Dead Redemption 2. I saw somebody comment that on one of my recent videos. They're like, haven't been this hyped or seen the anticipation compared to Red Dead levels in a long time, and I couldn't agree more. Yeah, we got 1 minute 30 seconds away from the showcase. I'm going to turn up the volume. You'll hear my voice a little bit minimally, depending on what's discussed, but it's probably going to be about a 30-minute show. I'm expecting that to be the maybe a little under 30 minutes, but we're going to see some new gameplay, some new stuff, and that's what matters most. And then we'll talk about it afterwards. Yeah, everybody, the stream is about to start. We're about 1 minute away. I just always want to start a little bit early, just in case not to miss anything. Blake Fleming, thank you for becoming a new member on the channel. As you guys already know, you can click that join button or help out the channel by checking out the Patreon or any of the other various links. Yeah, we're about 45 seconds away. Well, Johnny, as I see you saying in the chat, going to be a deep analysis. I hope so. I mean, I really am looking forward to this. I think we're going to see a lot of the different, I said this before, but a lot of the different brands of weapons in the game. Let me turn off my background music. Anyway. Eternal Dark Wolf, thank you for the donation. Ryoko Tenchi, thank you for becoming a new member. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit more. Hopefully it's not low enough. Let me know if it sounds good. Here we go.
You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Step in the pit with the stakes. City of dreams, city of...
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Night City Wire. This is the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving into Life Paths and showing you a brand new gameplay video, as well as having a chat to Philip from our quest team. Then we're going behind the scenes and taking a look at how Refused are bringing the band Samurai to life.
Oh, look at
and
Johnny.
then we're showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. So let's get started. Street Kid, Nomad, or Corpo? Which will you pick first?
I'm aiming Corpo, just saying right now. I'm thinking Corpo, chat. Here we go.
Well, who do we have here?
Grew up in Haywood. Whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I'm pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Childhood memories. Hopping buildings, running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip.
Motherfucker!
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get the fuck out of Vista.
If you keep getting jumped, you find some stronger choopers.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived.
It looks gorgeous.
Ready to get your cherry bobbed? Yeah, come on!
Anyone concerned about graphics? I mean, this looks beautiful.
My childhood? Let's see. Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills? Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family. And choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
Miss this, you know?
Who's that?
Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met. Know what I always liked about nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
I get Red Dead vibes from that little town.
I have those reports you asked for.
They were
Western
supposed to
vibes.
be ready yesterday.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
The world's never going to find out.
Thank you, Coltrane.
If I go down, you're going down with me. No! I'm not fucking joking!
This isn't a request, V.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you work in Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get somebody else to zero you.
What's the rules, Jack? Want to be top? Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there. Work for yourself,
Live for yourself. That's the only way.
Philip, it is so good to see you again. It's actually been a while since I've had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk. So I think for today, we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game has 3 different starts depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the street kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. You know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game. But if you start as a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family, because nomads that roam the deserts around Night City, that we call the Badlands, actually value their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind, and now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there. Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path. And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside a boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation, which basically gives you the ability to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later on.
So this isn't just about the start of the game. Can you maybe help people understand how this translates into the gameplay?
Yeah. So the thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game, but we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options and dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstromers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we want to give you some options. So as an example, if you have a corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines, and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang. And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstromers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout, who's part of the very powerful Militech Corporation. As a street kid, we as an example don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a street kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher up people like Meredith Stout. But we want to give you additional options that fit your life path very well. So later when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a street kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
So Philip, I do have a couple of extra questions for you based on the video we just saw. And the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands. Is this somewhere you get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands, and you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon.
I love the variety shown so far.
We want to give you the option later in the game, if you want, you can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. Thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first, because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past, there's global warming, so most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle-hardened. We of course also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved, they go to a fixer. And a fixer then finds people who can solve that problem. And these people are people like you, the cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a street kid grew up in, so you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city. So specifically Padre, you might know him as a street kid, but even if you played other life paths, you might sooner or later meet him because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us. Now on my first playthrough, pretty sure I'm going to be picking Nomad, but for those watching, we would love to know what you'll be picking. So have a think about it and send us a tweet. Don't forget that later in this episode, we're going to be showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. But before that, let's talk about music, because music plays a huge part in bringing Night City to life. Now in future episodes, we're going to talk about things like radio stations and even the original score. But today, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at how Refused to bringing Johnny Silverhand's band, Samurai, to life.
I wouldn't write these lyrics for myself. So it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset
on Spotify
of who
now.
Is this character and what would they write about, or what's their agenda. It's interesting to try to like catch a language that's his and try to catch a language that's like part of this game.
Johnny looking pretty good though. Johnny looking pretty good.
We're here.
I see a lot of nomads. I'm surprised. I think Corpo's the more interesting, at least that's just my perspective.
Piotr maybe, who was a fan of the band.
He knew Refused and he knew my voice, and he said, oh, that's a perfect voice for Johnny.
Although to be fair, Nomad has that Western vibe with it.
And that they wanted, I guess, a sound that was a bit contemporary from when Johnny's supposed to have had the band, because he's sort of like an anti-establishment kind of guy.
Gonna drag a corporal rat on stage, make him kneel, douse him with gas, and light him up?
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel that's fighting against like the corporals, and that's definitely something that's been a part of my life and a part of Refused life.
We came out of the punk rock scene of northern Sweden.
He's like the future version of us. You know? So I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense for us to be here making these songs about him or for him. You know? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No trills. But yeah, but like wide vibrato.
And then, I mean, just sort of build,
yeah,
slowly build sort of intensity.
We don't have a different mode than just going all in. So we really worked on these songs, trying to make them as good as possible. But then they're not actually our songs.
It's interesting as a musician to play another musician, because that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, we're not here as Refused, we're here as Samurai. And I'm here with Johnny Silverhand, you know? So it's like the voice we're representing here is someone else.
We'll never fade away!
It's been a mind fuck.
I'm loving the music so far, if I have to say so myself. Thank you for becoming a new member, Bill Tatton.
I mean, the shouting in itself is just like second nature to me because I've been doing this for a very long time. But then when someone comes in and says,
I'm happy with everything except for Azza Lim. Again, it's Azza. Azza. Okay.
The shouting's great, but think of that accent, or think of that like enunciation. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing when you're screaming like that, and it's hard to sort of
Swallowing some syllables there.
adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
So it's been a bit kind of frustrating.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, we have to maintain the illusion that this character that's a character of the game also is me, like when I'm singing it. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's a bit different to have someone telling you exactly how to enunciate things, because I'm not used to, usually people are just like give me a thumbs up and then like, you know, you think the things like the rhythm and you think about the pitch and you think about all these things, but then someone comes in and like, that word sounded weird. I'm like, what? No, that's how I sing. But so it's been a very, yeah, a bit painful at times, but it's all right.
See this soon, I'm chipping in. Roll the bones, I'm chipping in. Belt that cone, I'm chipping in. Mayhem drowns.
It's a very interesting thing to be part of. As a person that's not a gamer, I don't think I fully understand the impact that this might have. If people like these songs and if people are excited, then that's going to be great. I mean, we are spending a lot of times trying to get this right, trying to get it to sound like, you know, like Samurai would sound, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's a very different way of making music, actually.
Very cool.
You can already find 3 Samurai tracks available on streaming services: Chippin' In, Never Fade Away, and The Ballad of Buck Gravers. But we're excited to announce a 4th new song called A Like Supreme, which is coming to streaming services today. That means you can check it out once the show is over. Don't forget that if you're tuning in late, or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channel soon. Next up, Pavel and I are going to introduce you to some creative ways that you can solve problems in Night City.
Hey V, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection. It could get hot, very hot. The gun dealers are Maelstrom. Alas, nothing ever transpires as planned with them. You better gear up for this.
Hopefully that's how our apartment can still appear in the game. Love to put weapons on the wall and stuff like that, if we can. A grenade launcher, I think. Attachment, maybe? Ooh. Decapitation.
So V, are you willing?
Yeah, I'm in.
I really dug that. Really dug the montage of gunplay. Pretty cool.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because it's more than just guns.
Absolutely. We have melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I think just for today's episode, we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell us the different types of guns that will be in the game?
So we have 3 distinct types of guns in our game. We have power weapons, we have tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons. One thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can hit somebody hiding behind cover or hiding behind a wall. Now, tech weapons, on the other hand, use electromagnetic power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that allows them to do is to punch through cover or punch through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those 2 elements together. Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world of Night City. V becomes more and more proficient in using weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become shorter, the accuracy of your weapons grows, you will have faster aiming time, you will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed for you.
So I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the first is going to be, how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can, of course, buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City. The weapons rarities range from common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game. The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's talk about weapon modifications. What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
So we have 2 types of modifications in the game. One of them would be modifications that we call attachments. So these would be scopes and silencers, and you can see them actually being attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage, and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now, these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun. They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they can give you more fire rate. Some of those mods actually change the gunplay on a more fundamental level, so they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds, to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my final question, why don't you tell us about your favorite weapon then? Which is your favorite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose just one. But I can mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls. So you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who doesn't even know you're there.
of course, I also like a close quarters approach. And what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now, that thing is cast from pure steel, and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say, is a smart shotgun, Kang Tao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means it can track 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room was never simpler.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of weapons people discover when they play Cyberpunk for themselves. Before we end episode 2, this is a reminder that those who wish to dive deeper into the lore can now pick up The World of Cyberpunk 2077. This is a brand new book created in collaboration with Dark Horse Books that will give you an extensive look at what makes Night City tick before jumping into the game this November. That is it for today's episode. Thank you so much.
So what do you guys make of the show? Let me know.
If you want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channel shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Making sure there's
we'll
nothing
be back
else.
with Night City Wire episode 3 soon.
Soon. Okay. Okay, all. What do you guys take of that showcase? I really like seeing all of the gameplay and a lot of the variety. And yes, it definitely feels like we got a better look at some of the different aspects of, let's see. It doesn't show up. I'll go to YouTube and see if I can find, because they usually don't upload this immediately. One sec. Because I do want to go through it a little bit. Like, I think most of the stuff that was shown was pretty self-obvious, you know. But what do you guys make? I love seeing all the guns. Most of the stuff that we went over, actually, a lot of it's stuff that I talked about in the last Cyberpunk 2077 video. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend it. But yeah, all the weapon manufacturers, how weapons work, cyberware, some of the different elements there. A lot of that stuff's included in the world book, as they mentioned, and we talked about that. Let's see. Check their channel. I don't know if they're uploading this immediately. Oh. No, that's last month. Maybe IGN has one up or something. Yeah. Okay. I just want to go through this a little bit with you guys. Let me know if you saw anything that maybe some people didn't notice or whatnot. IGN wrapped their show up immediately afterwards. Yeah, well, I will say that the Nomad life path, I think a lot of you were saying this in the chat, but it definitely has that Western Red Dead vibe to it. I saw some people mentioning New Vegas, and I think that's on purpose, and I really dig that. Like, when they're at that fire, multiple of those gang members, I think, they were sitting around that fire, I just had Red Dead Redemption vibes immediately. The Street Kid life path, I think, is another very interesting one, just because it seems like V has all of this experience with how gangs and everything works. He knows the lingo, he knows how all of them work. And Corpo V is a different beast, as I guess there's different rewards and different perks of being a part of every class. Personally, myself, I'm probably going to go Corpo the first route. I do want to know who this character is. Very interesting.
What's this?
But if there was any concerns about graphics or anything, hopefully that's over now, because personally, I thought that this looked phenomenal. Like, the best the game has looked so far. Yep. Thank you for the donation, and I will keep up the good content. Thank you.
No.
Yeah, but I just love it. It looks great. It looks detailed. There's so much variety here, and I think it's going to be fun exploring all the different parts of Night City. And I think that's what this episode did a good job of showing. You see obviously you see the 3 different life paths, but you see how drastically different they are in their style, their presentation. And remember, there's other things with these life paths. Your story's going to change, and there's also different dialogue options that you will only have if you're a Corpo, or only if you are a Street Kid. And it all makes sense, which puts a big emphasis on replayability.
isn't a request, V.
Yeah, and I saw somebody saying that this was like, are we like a hitman for Arasaka? We do whatever they tell us to do. Which, I think the Corpo Life Pass is just very interesting because you have this experience and you know who the real players of Night City are. Like the gangs and the nomads and all, that's little nonsense compared to, well, the big corporations, Arasaka and Militech. And there seems to be something going on inside of Arasaka, like all is not. It's, I guess the point I'm trying to say is, what am I trying to say? Like Yorinobu Arasaka, we don't know, maybe has his own faction of Arasaka people ready to do something. I just think it's more compelling. There's could be some avenues that could play out, some really compelling ways that Arasaka could, I wouldn't say explode, but I guess a civil war of sorts.
But no way you're fucked, right?
You're the one to be top. Gotta have some skin in the.
Yeah, there's Yorinobu Arasaka. I didn't actually notice this the first time, and we are. It does seem like the game's going to start off with us doing something for Evelyn Parker, which is stealing something from him. But it doesn't necessarily seem like he's the bad guy, at least. Like, his father, Saburo Arasaka, is definitely, but I don't even know if he's going to appear in the game, but he is the CEO of Arasaka still at the ripe age of 158 years old. His son should be pretty old too, but Cyberware may have made him a lot younger, and I believe there's Cyberpunk Red has an explanation for how that works. The Mad Queen show is telling me about it, and I'm sure that this is all going to be explained in the game. But I did notice at one point a really cool detail. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but very early on, if you noticed very quickly, you could see that there was different lore like set up on the screen. Like you could see 2069, blah, 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 blah. That's a great way of getting people immersed. Just hearing the perspective from Arasaka of what happened in Night City. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% faithful, but history is written by the victors, as they say. Yeah, I don't know where it's in here, but if you... Early on, they show like a billboard with 2069, 2071. That's a great way to get people immersed into the lore. And if you are looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077 and want to get immersed into this world before it does release, I highly recommend that you check out the World of Cyberpunk 2077 book.
I saw it.
Or even play Cyberpunk 2020, yeah, but... And then this is the character that... I don't know, this seems like another interesting character. I wonder if people are going to be going crazy for... I don't know who she is yet, like they were going for Judy Alvarez last episode.
You know what I always liked about Nomads?
Yeah, I love the vehicles. Let me see, chat, got somebody. Greg E3 Egg, thank you for the donation, and yeah, I mean, this is looking like it's Game of the Year potential. I mean, I'm not going to say Game of the Generation or overhype what this actual game's going to be like, but I'm impressed with what's been shown so far, and it sounds like most of you in chat feel the same way. Where do we get that book? It's on Amazon. I think you can find it in any of your local bookstores. I know a lot of people are saying Barnes and Noble has it, I believe. Yeah, I'm just flipping through here a little bit. Arasaka soldiers. I'll flip forward to some of the gameplay, but yeah, even that. I love the vehicles. Looks good. I mean, everything looks good. The details, the graphics, the vehicles, how they move. And then, yeah, this is what I was making a point of earlier. I was saying I got Western vibes from all of this. And yeah, I saw that sick katana with the head and ability on it. Yeah, I can see some of you guys in chat already have that book. I have it myself. It's an awesome read. There's just so much there. Like, I made a 34-minute video. I gotta slow down on these long videos, but there's just so much to discuss, and that world book is detailed in so many different ways. Yeah, I love the look at Johnny Silverhand too, like his upgraded look. He looks so much better now compared to 2019.
So it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset of who is this character.
And I will say Chippin' In's still my favorite Cyberpunk song right now. And I know some people aren't hot on this metal stuff. I get it. I'm not going to. Personally, myself, I dig it. I like a lot of different genres of music. I know some people, this isn't for everybody, but there is different music in Cyberpunk. I think you gotta understand this. This is just Johnny Silverhand's band Samurai, and that's what they wanted to put an emphasis on in this Night City Wire episode.
It's interesting to try to like catch a language.
Yeah, and this is... looks good. He does. He looks good, doesn't he?
Try to catch a language that's like part of this game.
There was one moment where we actually can see like a big crowd jumping around. I don't know what that is. Is that a campaign, like a cutscene or something? I'm not too sure, but I do wonder if we're gonna like have a flashback. Maybe, is it a brain dance? Maybe something like that, in which we see some of Johnny's past and figure out his story.
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel.
Yeah, like from this perspective, it looks like we're assuming the role of Johnny. So maybe we'll have a brain dance of one of his last concerts.
Fighting against like the corporal. That's definitely something that...
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, people have been worried about NPC density and how many NPCs fill up some rooms. It looks like, based on recent footage, and this also includes the Chinese gameplay. I'll probably talk about this in a new video, but it definitely feels like CDPR is taking that criticism to heart, because it wasn't just people on the internet saying that. I also saw some of the previews mention that some of the towns or some of the districts in Night City weren't as filled as previewers kind of hoped for, and it's good that CDPR has put some work on that. And I get it, this game does have to run for Xbox One and PS4, and it does hold back some of the... there is some limitations, I guess that's the best way to put it, which is why certain aspects and things they wanted to do, like I would assume flying vehicles and stuff like that, couldn't happen because of the consoles. But hey, I mean, this is a franchise, so if we're going to have like a Cyberpunk 2078 or something along those lines years from now, I'm guessing that a lot of this stuff that people wanted now will probably come then, or even maybe even some single-player expansions, or even the multiplayer down the line. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. What's the other thing? Yeah, and the other thing, gunplay. Yeah, Greg, Witcher 4, I think everybody's excited and hopeful for. That's obviously coming next. Whatever it's called, Witcher 4, I don't think it's going to be called, but it'll be the fourth Witcher game for sure, but who knows what it'll look like or be about. Yeah, and I did like this little montage of gameplay showing off the different weapons. We got, let's see, I can't see that. The TKI-20 Xinghen, the G58DN. The G58DN, I believe that was shown in the 2018 gameplay demo. V picks that up at some point from the Maelstrom gang. The L69 Zud and the Noko something, I can't see that. Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is what I mean by this world looks beautiful. And anybody coming out here trying to... I get it, criticism's all right, but to the extent some people are like, it's already a downgrade, it looks horrible, it looks... I don't understand that perspective at all. I think that this looks phenomenal, and I think this is one of the most impressive open-world games I've seen in a long, long time. And yes, it is... games like this make me excited because I like seeing the industry push forward, but also I get tired of the usual open world Ubisoft-esque experiences. Something different like this is needed, you know? Yeah, look at that too. Looks like some corporate... is that the race, I think? I think that is the race, maybe. I can't really tell from... let's see. Yeah, and I know somebody was just bringing this up. These are some of the melee weapons. Remember, we talked about this much in the last video. Let's see, we got Electric Alpha Baton, Spiked Bat, Thermal Katana, that's going to be really cool to use, a Sledgehammer, and Tanto something, I can't tell what that says. But I saw some people saying little criticism for the melee combat, and I'm not 100% too crazy about melee weapons from what's been shown so far, but I do think that the katana is going to be fun to use. We'll have to see more. I think they have been working on that, though. Yeah, I just wonder how effective it'll be against large amounts of enemies. Yeah, and the cyberware. Oops, let me go back. Oh, I wish there was a 10-second thing. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we got monowire. We've seen that, where you can throw the whip pretty much out of your arm. We got the projectile launch system. We've seen that. They show some gameplay here of it, which a missile shoots out of your arm. That's pretty cool. Gorilla arms, again, super strength. Makes probably melee a lot easier. The mantis blades, and then right here it's cut off, but that's reinforced knuckles. Again, I assume that makes... I forget what it was specifically, but I believe that makes melee a lot easier. Yeah, but those mantis blades, they look awesome. And look at that decapitation. Ooh, looks gorgeous. Yeah, and that's what I was just mentioning before, the projectile launch. I think that was in the Gig trailer. And Wakako Okada, I probably bombed that name, but looks like that's another fixer in Night City. Somebody said arrow key. Okay, I mess with... I don't know my keys well, people. Not enough. Okay, okay. These are things I probably should know, being on YouTube for like 10, 15 years. But, yeah. Thank you for chat. Let's see. Yeah, and I love this too. I do like that, if you're not a big shooter person... This game definitely has technology that'll help with that, like the smart weapons, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, look, I just love how those, look at that bullet spread. Look at just, let me slow it down. Looks gorgeous. Boom, I love how that looks. Look at all that detail. Looks great, doesn't it? Okay. Oops.
Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements. It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPGs?
Yeah, but it does sound like a lot of this is very complex. If there's any other small little details that you guys noticed, let me know in the chat. Talk about this for a couple more minutes and we're gonna head out of here. I'll probably work on a new video, have it up in maybe today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. I'm gonna take some time to look at everything, and then there's also some news and some other stuff we'll talk about. But yeah, I thought that this looked impressive. I mean, I think people expecting like this long, unedited 20-30 minute, we're not going to see that again. We are going to see like deep dives into certain features like we saw with so many other games in the past. Like I know Avengers has its war table. That was a pretty good thing that they did. Red Dead had their own little gameplay series. I do like these little in-depth series with details and giving us a better idea of what the actual game is. If I remember correctly, they said stuff like homing guns are late game, and yeah, there's some stuff there just specifically talking about late game stuff. They're not talking about any of that. I mean, they've teased at some of the stuff coming late game, but they're not going to tell us, and that's probably for the best.
From common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb.
Yeah, I think, what is this, a different club? Looks pretty good though.
However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapon.
Yeah, and if you don't know what legendary or these iconic pieces of gear, again, this is something we talked about last video, but what this includes is Like, when you encounter Royce, that Maelstrom gang member who puts a gun in your face, if you recall from the E3 2018 gameplay footage, that's supposedly an iconic weapon or legendary weapon that we can pick up depending on the decisions that we make. So if we choose to kill him, we can loot him, and I believe the weapon's called the Chaos Pistol, and it'll probably have some type of special benefit. And like I've said before, weapons and gear seems to work a lot like The Witcher 3, in which you'll find loot caches all spread out throughout the map and world, but also there's some unique and legendary stuff that's hidden away, and you'll have to complete certain quests and certain exploration to find it, so that's pretty cool.
The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because
Yeah, he says it right here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of late game stuff that I don't even know about yet, or none of us know, obviously, but I think I do like some surprises, you know? I know some people are always concerned about spoilers and all that, and I understand that perspective perfectly. But myself, if I'm being honest, I'm excited, I really am. I'm excited to see how all this plays out once I play the game. Yeah, but if there's any other last minute things, let me know, guys. I'm about to end the video here. I got some work I gotta do. I gotta get a look at this. I'll probably break it down frame by frame and look over it and see if I can find some other things. You always can let me know on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere, really, if you found anything that you want me to be known aware of. But yeah, I think that this game looks a lot better. I mean, it's looking better and better over time, and anybody concerned about a downgrade, I don't see that. I think that this looks like one of the best games I've seen in years, especially with how much content and how much they're doing here. Yeah, somebody is saying story over gameplay over graphics, and I completely agree with that. And I think people forget that a lot, that this is a story-focused experience first and foremost. And that's what matters most to me with CDPR games. I want a good story. The Witcher 3 was phenomenally well done. Yeah, and I think this is part of Japantown. Pretty cool. Actually, I think that this is from the same scene. If you remember, there was some Katana gameplay that came from the German outlet GameStar. I think that this is maybe the same alleyway. Maybe the same mission done differently. Zeke, I have no idea what I consider myself. You can make up that. Gaming journalist, I have no idea. Yeah, guys. Anyway, this is pretty fun. We got a lot that we discussed today. As usual, though, I will... Let's see. As usual, I will thank my patrons. If you do want to support or back the channel further, you can do so over there. And yeah, I got a lot of content coming from Cyberpunk 2077. I got a lot of stuff planned I'm working on right now, so look forward to that. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Remember, they did say there's another Night City Wire episode. I did hear episodes. I found that interesting. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But yeah, we got a new episode soon. Hopefully, probably I would assume in the early parts of September. So we'll probably get some more details on other aspects of Cyberpunk 2077. And as usual, I will be streaming that. But thank you guys for joining me, and as usual, make sure to follow me on Twitter, and like the video if you haven't already. Consider subscribing for more content like this, and I'll actually play the outro right now. But let's see. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching.